Yeah, what's up, Dave? I'm cleaning. What's up?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Why do they keep running male enhancement ads on my account?
I will tell you that normally speaking online, they will give you ads based on things you're searching for and looking for.
That is complete nonsense. Dave needs no help in that department, I assure you.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just telling you what I've heard and what people have told me as far as like when I go search for things online, they'll show me ads of things that I'm looking for or searching for. So, it is what it is. I don't know what you got going on, but
I don't
that's
have
what they
anything
do.
going on. This is just lunacy.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Ask Freya, she will tell you. This is a joke, right? I have got to stay off the internet. First it was internet history, now I have to worry about ads. This is just great.
How's your axe throwing game? We're going to talk about axe throwing this one. We're also going to talk about the World Axethrowing League axe handles. I got a bunch of axes that have been sitting inside waiting to be reviewed from the World Axethrowing League, and I noticed something about their handles, so I brought a bunch of them out. We're going to go over them. We're also going to unbox an axe on camera for you guys. We're going to do a free giveaway in this one, and we're going to talk about the 3 axes that I've already reviewed this year because I think they're worth talking about again because they were just so good for axe throwing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Wes, the Suburban Viking. Of course, we got Dave here with us. Say hey, Dave.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
And we are Midgard Axe. Okay, so this video is going to have a lot of things in it, but I'm going to start off with axe throwing. How's your axe game? Now, the reason why I'm starting off with axe throwing is because I've had a lot of questions being asked of me over the past few months on how I throw axes. If you guys don't know, I've created a series called How to Throw an Axe Like a Viking. I'll link it up at the top. If you're interested, go check it out. I show you guys in detail how I throw axes, okay? The series isn't done yet. I've still got videos to make, but it'll get you where you need to be at. The reason why I'm addressing axe throwing and how's your axe game going is because a lot of you have been asking me about wrist control. Now, I need to make a video on that, and I've touched on it a few times in that series. However, there is a specific question that I've been asked a lot that I want to cover, which is, do you keep your wrist the same when you throw for distance compared to when you're up close throwing hard? And the answer is no. When I throw for distance, I don't know if you guys pay attention to how I throw. When I throw for distance, a lot of my movement is more fluid. It's a lot more drawn out. I'm loading the weight back, and I'm trying to get the axe as straight as I can to make an accurate throw and be consistent with that throw as well. That's the whole thing. You want to be consistent. You want to be accurate because you're throwing for so far, but you also want to keep it straight in the air. The name of the game is trying to keep the axe as straight up and down as possible when you're throwing for distance so you can get a clean bit strike, right? And your wrist has a lot to do with that. Now, when I throw for distance, and I've showcased this before in one of my past videos, what I like doing is I like taking my wrist and giving it a little bit of a movement forward like this with the axe when I throw for distance. The reason why I like doing that, it helps me with consistency. It helps me with accuracy. It also helps with a heavy-headed axe throwing for that far for distance. Not only am I throwing with my arm and my shoulder, but I'm also giving it a little bit with my wrist. It will also help keep your axe straight too. It'll take a little bit of practice because I will say a lot of times you'll want to rotate your wrist when you're throwing for distance, but try kicking your wrist out at the last minute. When you come over, boom, it will help keep that bit straight up and down. It will improve your accuracy. It'll improve your consistency, and it also will help with a heavy-headed axe. I've tried it over and over and over again, and the best thing I came up with was that little wrist cock that I have going on there, and it works really well for distance. Now, when it comes to throwing up close, I do not normally do that wrist movement. The reason why I don't like doing that wrist movement up close is because it can If you do it too much, it will over-rotate the axe. And I don't want to over-rotate the axe when I'm up close and personal throwing as hard as I can, or at least as close as hard as I can, right? So what I like doing, it's more of a rigid movement. If you guys watch me when I throw for distance, like I said before, it's more fluid. It's more of a fluid moment because I'm really trying to be accurate. I'm throwing for a triple or quadruple rotation. Some of my axe throws have been at 100 feet. You got to be accurate, and you got to make sure that bit's staying up and down with that wrist. When you're up close and personal, you can kind of let that slide a little bit more. You got a little bit more leniency. If you guys have seen my axe, sometimes when I throw really hard up close, it doesn't stick straight up and down. Sometimes it's like this, or sometimes it's really weird, but I'm still sticking the bit. It's because I'm concentrating more on accuracy and power than anything, and keeping more of a rigid feel in my wrist when I go to throw really hard helps me with really hard axe throws up close. So I am not doing that kicking movement. All I'm doing is keeping my wrist locked and really paying attention to trying to get that axe out of my hand as cleanly as possible with my hand, giving it out into a C grip here and letting it rotate for a single rotation into the target. So no, I don't use the same wrist movement. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think, if it helps you throw hard. Like I said, it's going to take some practice. If you try it, it's not going to be something you can probably do when you first go out or the second time you go out. But with practice, I think it would help. The last thing I want to touch on when it comes to axe throwing is throwing work axes and throwing dedicated throwing axes, okay? There is a difference between the two. Of course, we all know that. However, I want to talk to you guys about it because I think it's important. As you guys know, I grew up throwing work axes, ones with curved handles, ones with huge knobs, flared knobs, ones that the heads were god-awfully weighted for axe throwing. But I learned on that, okay? And I came to love it. I have a soft spot in my heart for dedicated work axes, okay, that can be used for axe throwing. But I do want to tell you guys, the more and more I work with dedicated throwing axes, the more I start to fall in love with these things even more. I really do. They fly really nicely, okay? Single rotation all the way back to quadruple rotations. You guys have seen me throw for 80 feet to 100 feet throwing dedicated throwing axes. They're just great. They're very consistent too. You can learn on a dedicated throwing axe a heck of a lot better than you can with a work axe. And I think that's what's made me so versatile, is that I started out with work axes and then moved to a dedicated throwing axe. So I got all the bugs out, because throwing a work axe is a lot harder. It just is, because you're dealing with a lot more hurdles when you're throwing a work axe. You know, you got different things going on that you don't have with a dedicated throwing axe, like straight handles and specifically weighted heads for throwing and so on and so forth. So all I'm saying is that if you're doing both and you're having trouble, don't freak out. What I would suggest is maybe starting out with a dedicated throwing axe and getting good at it, and then move to a work axe, or vice versa, until you get good with both separately. Then join them together and throw them together, and you'll have a blast. But I am starting to like dedicated throwing axes a heck of a lot better. They just work out better for me, especially for distance. Anything you want to add to that, Dave? Work axes, dedicated throwing axes, what's your take?
Sometimes it's more about who's throwing the axe than the axe itself.
Yeah.
It's tough hearing the truth sometimes.
Gotta love Dave. Let's get into unboxing the Calculated Survival Tomahawk. I had a couple people on TikTok ask me to buy one, so I went onto the website and bought one. Check out his website. They got some cool stuff on there. I know they have a TikTok page. They probably have a YouTube page as well. I'll have to check it out after I'm done recording. But this thing looks really cool from the pictures online, so let's open it up and see what we got here. I'm gonna try to do this holding it up in the air. It's kind of weird. Okay, cool. So we have a polymer handled axe. All right, let me put the box down. Okay, so we got a polymer handled axe. This looks like, to me anyway, just like the handle that comes on the SOG Tactical Tomahawk. It looks almost exactly the same with the ridges here. Okay, we do have some screws on both sides, so they probably thread in together to keep the steel ferrule into this glass-filled or polymer handle. I'm not really sure what it is. I'll have to get back with you when I do the actual review on it. But it looks pretty cool. I don't think it's a full ferrule, which, if you guys don't know, a full ferrule on one of these type of polymer style handled axes or glass filled style handled axes means that the steel runs all the way down to the bottom of the knob. It does not run all the way down. If I had to guess, I'd say it probably stops somewhere in here. So you got steel up in your axe head, and then it stops about right here somewhere. So basically from here down to the knob is just all polymer, okay? But it does feel good in the hand. Let's talk about the sheath here. Before we get into talk about how it feels in the hand, let's talk about the sheath. Okay, so it is Sorry, guys, we got a little baby. We got a baby. Get that baby out of here. That's my baby, my year-old Freya. Hi, baby. Yeah, she's making noise. She's calling Dave. Dave, where are you at in this? You're supposed to be wrangling the baby.
Today was supposed to be my day off.
Sorry, guys. Let's get into the actual sheath here. Okay, so it is a Kydex style sheath. Feels just like Kydex. It's got some rivets in there that look pretty nice. It is two separate pieces that's held on with some paracord. You have a sheath for the bit, and then you have a separate sheath for the spike in the back. So that is kind of interesting. I've never seen that before on one of these style of axes, but it is what it is. It feels like it's nicely made. I do like Kydex, you know, for pew-pews, but pretty cool. And the paracord on it's pretty nice as well. But you know, guys, we throw these sheaths away on this channel because we're talking about the axe here. Okay, so getting into this thing, I will say, just kind of putting it in my hand, it is pretty light. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably coming in at maybe somewhere around a pound, if that. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing was less. I don't know, it's probably a pound. What do you think, Dave? Probably a pound?
Probably a skålpund.
Yeah, probably a pound, okay? We do have a very interesting bit, guys. Check this thing out. It is got right here at the toe, and then as it kind of goes inward, and then comes back out a little bit down here at the heel, which is really interesting, okay? On the edge is okay. I probably would have liked for it to have been a little bit sharper, but not bad, not bad. I can get it sharp, so no big deal. The spike on the back has no edge at all, okay? But we'll have to remedy that. I'll put an edge on the back of this spike and see how well it does sticking and see if it holds its edge pretty well. But I will say it feels pretty cool. One thing I did notice, as I talked about in the SOG Tactical Tomahawk, was these ridges they put in these polymer handles. I'm not a big fan of them. I know some people love those ridges. I'm not. I'm going to have to remedy this before I throw it. Just saying, to give it an honest review, it's not going to feel good in my hand when I'm throwing it, and it's going to throw me off. So I'll probably remedy this handle before we throw it, and I'll show you guys how I do it. But not bad at all. I'm interested to see how it's going to perform. It feels really good in the hand. I think I'll be able to throw this thing really far too. I think it'll hold up really well. I like these polymer handled axes. I used to say I didn't like them. I know somebody's gonna say, you said you didn't like them. I'm getting some affection for these polymer style handled axes. They're not too bad. You guys will see in a future video. I'll kind of reveal a little bit. The Cold Steel Trench Hawk and Warhawk. I did a comparison video of them. I modified the hell out of them. And I'm gonna bring you a part 2 on those. And I can't wait. I think they're gonna be awesome. We'll see. We'll see. But this one right here, the Calculated Survival Tomahawk, looks really cool. So look forward to this one in a future video. Pretty cool looking Tomahawk. And I think it's going to fly really well. Just doing one of these numbers here. I know I'll be able to throw this thing hard up close. You can just feel it in your hand. It's weighted pretty nice too. Let's do a little bit of a weight test since we got it here. Of course, guys, we got a knob heavy handle here. It's tipping back towards the knob, of course, with the weight test. That's kind of happens with these really thin polymer styled throwing axes. The heads are really thin, so a lot of your weight's in here, but I think it's going to throw really well. We're going to see. Come back and check this one out. This should be a fun one. If you guys didn't know, I got a spare handle. And the reason why I got a spare handle is for the Honshu Corrido. The Honshu Corrido was a review I did last year. I did like the way it flew in the air, but as you guys know, that handle's junk. Just being honest. I know a lot of people have done a review on the Honshu Corrido, like cutting water bottles and stuff, but for axe throwing, in my opinion, it takes no abuse at all. It just snaps right in half. I stuck the bit into the target. I was throwing it hard, stuck the bit into the target, and the damn thing just snapped right in half. Whatever. So I got a new handle for it. And if I have to drill holes into that axe head to get it to fit into this handle, I will. I will modify it somehow to make sure it fits this handle so we can throw it. I did like the Honshu Corrido head though, so I'm interested to see how well it's going to fly on this handle. We'll modify it too. I'll do a modification video on this handle before we put the head on and make a video showing you guys what I do to make it the way it looks when I'm throwing it, but look forward to that. Honshu Corrido on this one. Should be a fun one. Sometimes me and Dave come out here and we just do off-the-cuff videos. This was not planned. We just did this off the cuff. This wasn't a planned video. We just kind of had an idea, threw it together, right, Dave?
Freya is not talking to me, so this was the next best thing.
He's right. So we're making a cool video. Okay, so let's get into some of the World Axe Throwing League axe handles, and I'm going to show you guys, they're sitting right here, I'm going to grab them. I'm going to show you guys what I found. Let's get into it. Now, some of these World Axe Throwing League axes I'm going to keep a secret. I didn't want to divulge all of them. Some of them didn't come with a sheath, so I'm going to have to show you the head, unfortunately. You're just going to have to know before I do the review on them. But some I'm going to keep a secret. Okay, so as you guys know, I'm going to kind of go up and down All right, we're going to have to kind of get over that.
Lift with the legs.
As you know, I got the Ragnar axe. I talked about the handle on that one. The Ragnar axe is a great axe. We'll talk about that in a second. But this thing is great. I loved it. I love throwing it. It flew really well. And like I said before, guys, the handle held up. Holy crap, a World Axethrowing League axe that we reviewed on this channel, throwing hard, throwing for distance, and the handle held up. What an amazing feeling that was. Dave performed his little ritual.
Damn right.
Didn't you, Dave?
Sometimes you need divine intervention.
Yes, he did. He asked his gods, I asked my God, and we made it through a video with this axe. Okay, so getting into the actual handles. As you guys know, I talked about it previously, that this one was really thin up in here, you know, from left to right, but then up and down it was really long. So it just felt odd in the hand. I didn't care for it. So I kind of went back to the other World Axethrowing League axes that I've ordered that we got to do reviews on, and I was kind of looking at them, and I was like, wait a second. Check out this one. This one's a lot fatter. This one has more of an oval shape. This one actually feels good in the hand. It's not as long up and down facing you this way as this one
That's
is.
what she said.
And as you can see the difference in the circumference of the handle, this one's more oval shaped where this one's more, I don't know, a really thin oval. But this one right here feels really good in the hand. It has, you know, like I said, the circumference of it's a lot better. It's just, it feels a lot better in the hand than this one does. And it's not as long up and down. So I did find that. Going back, comparing everything to the Ragnar, we'll put this one down. We got this one, which has a handle exactly the same as the Ragnar. It's got a handle exactly the same. So I was like, okay, let's go to the next one. Then we have this one. This handle's completely different than all of them. And this is a World Axethrowing League axe. I mean, this one right here, guys, feels really good in the hand. It's similar to the other one. Let me grab that one really quick.
Up and down, up and down. You need an assistant for these videos.
What is this one? The Corporal. It's similar to the Corporal. It is a little bit thinner. But guys, these handles are just, I'm just being honest, these handles are all over the place. They're not even remotely close to being the same. This one's a lot thinner. And not as long from left to right when I put it in my hand. I mean, look at this. So we got the Corporal here, and then we got this one here. I mean, my fingers are touching my palm on this one. So it's just really weird that the handles are so different. And then we have another one down here, which is the Bad Axe, which feels like the Corporal. But I will say, if you see in here, it's a lot thinner right in this area. But just taking a look at the two here, I mean, it's this one right here feels like it's a cross between the Ragnar and the Corporal. It feels kind of good in the hand, but it feels a little longer. The point of making this video and the point of talking about these World Axethrowing League axe handles now is because I'm starting to realize that they all come a little different. Now, I don't know what's going on with that, if they did that on purpose or if they had some extra handles and threw them on heads, or if they, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think, what your experience is. Do you guys get more handles like the Ragnar when you get your World Axethrowing League axes? Do you get something like this that's really thin? Or do you get something in between like this one here? It was just an observation that I saw, and I was like, wait, what's going on with all these handles? They're all really different. So, you know, that's something that we'll dive into when we do review on each one of these axes, but it was something that I noticed that I want to tell you guys about. No, me and Dave haven't forgot about the free giveaway. We just like throwing it randomly in the video somewhere to make you watch the whole video. Don't we, Dave?
That's more price to pay to win a free axe.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so getting into the three axes that I reviewed this year that I want to take a second look at. We got the World Axethrowing League Ragnar. We have the Francisca axe made by Condor, and then we have the Gransfurstbruck Hunter's axe. Okay, so I did a review on all three of these. If you haven't checked them out, go back and check it out. It's probably the last three videos I put out. Great axes all around. You got your dedicated work axe here that can be thrown for a single rotation. I want to take that back, guys. When I went back and rewatched the video, because I always have to watch them before I upload them to you guys and make sure that there's no crazy things happening, like audio issues and stuff like that. When I kind of was watching this again, I realized this thing does perform pretty well at a double rotation. So I'll recant my statement and say that this thing is actually pretty good for a double and single rotation. I didn't realize how well I threw it for a double rotation until I watched it. Sometimes in the middle of throwing, I don't feel like I did very good with something until I rewatched the video. But this thing does pretty good for a double rotation. Single rotation, double rotation, great work axe. Use it as a skinning axe, for on animals, chopping. If you want to use it in your, getting up into your tree stand, stuff like that. Just a great little work axe, and you can use it for axe throwing. Not bad at all. If you guys don't know, my favorite axe that the World Axe Throwing League produces is the King of Diamonds. I think that thing is awesome. And I did a review on the World Axe Throwing League Ragnar axe. I love this thing. It's awesome. I don't care for the handle, but the axe is awesome. I'm going to make a part 2 called Ragnarok, where I take this axe head and put it on a new handle and test it out and see if it's as good as the King of Diamonds. I think it will be. Going back and kind of thinking about things and how this thing threw, this thing was incredibly accurate, and it felt really good for distance and up close. I think it's going to be a beast with a new handle on it. You'll have to come back and check it out. But what a great flyer, coming in around 115 to 120 bucks. I don't think you'll go wrong with it. And I think it might give you guys something else to think about. If you're using an axe for competition already, check this out. I think you will be happy with it. Let me know what you guys think if you do get one and you throw competition, if you like it. And then the third axe, guys, is the Francisca axe made by Condor. This thing was awesome, and it gave me a really cool idea. Of course, this is going to be a free giveaway. If you haven't seen the video, go back and check it out. I'll tell you guys how to get into this giveaway. I think it lasts one more week, and then I'm going to do the reveal on who won it. But it gave me an idea. I'm going to take a axe head that I have already, and I'm going to design it like a Francisca axe. I'm going to traditionally haft it on a handle, maybe the Gransfurst broad axe handle, thin it down a little bit more, traditionally haft it, and then we're going to make a throwing axe out of a Francisca axe that I create. I can't wait to make that video, and I'll show you guys how I make it and how well it flies, but that was one thing that I did want to do when I took this out and threw it. I said, man, I think I can make one of these, and we're going to make one in the future. But this one right here, what a great flyer, guys, and this thing is nasty accurate for distance. Go back and check the video out. I take that thing back to triple rotations and I call out my shots left side, middle, right side. I threw like 2 or 3 on the left side of the target, 2 or 3 in the middle, then 2 or 3 on the right side. It was just nasty for triple rotations. Great little axe. Get one if you don't have one. I love this design. Now, before we get into the free giveaway, I want to talk about my axe reviews and why I go into them as deep as I do. I know a lot of people probably think I talk too much. Dave tells me I talk too much.
Yes.
It is what it is. He's going to have to get over that, and some of you will probably have to get over that as well. I am not going to shorten my videos just to appease some people because I take pride in going into the reviews that I do. Whenever sitting on this side of the camera, okay, I have a different look when I talk to you guys, but when I'm on that side of the camera that you're on, I'm doing the same thing you're doing. When I want to know about something, I'll get on YouTube and I'll research, like this mic, for example. And I watched a lot of different reviews on the current mic that I'm using. And almost not every review, but a lot of reviews that I watch, you know what's the comment section's always filled with? People asking questions that I think the person should have gone over in the video. And I think they tried to shorten their video because people will lose interest. But the thing about it is that when I do a review, I'm going to take this thing to its max. If you want to watch quarter of it, half of it, all of it, great. But I'm not going to limit my knowledge and my experience just to get people confused when they're done watching the video. When you watch my video at the end, you're going to have, at least I feel like, you're not going to have very many questions. If you do, please reach out to me. But I want to try to cover everything, which is why I go so in depth in my reviews. And guys, I will tell you this. I take some of these reviews that I do, these axes, I put them through the ringer. So when I tell you guys at the end of the review, hey, this axe is good, you know it's good. Most of my reviews are done in 2 days. Sometimes I've done reviews in 1 day, but most of them are 2 days. And I'm talking hours of axe throwing. If I've done a review before in 1 day where I've gone outside at like 10 o'clock in the morning and I finished at 4 in the afternoon. Throwing over and over and over and over again. And if that axe can take abuse for that long, I'm going to at least tell you that the handle is a tank. When I take axes out for 2 days and throw them for 3 to 4 hours each day, and the bit's still sharp, and the handle still is intact, and the head still hafted on the handle, you can know, taken away from my review, He beat the hell out of that axe and it's still working. My reviews are done a certain way because I want you guys to have the most information you can. I want you to watch one of my reviews and go, not only did he cover everything that I could think of, but I actually feel confident at the end of his review that he took this thing to its max and it didn't perform or it performed. I know I'm asking a lot for sometimes for these axes to do what I ask them to do. But you know what? For some reason, when I haft axes, I don't have a lot of issues with that axes that I design and I haft. And if I can do it, then manufacturers can do it. It's not like I'm asking them to do something that I can't do. I've been on social media now, guys, for like 2 years, and you guys have seen axes that I've hafted. You've seen axe heads that I've designed, and I've hafted on a handle, and I've taken outside repetitively and thrown hard for distance, beat the handle up, and it seems to work just fine. So what I'm saying is that if I can do it, they can do it, and I want to see if theirs is as good as something that someone else could do. If a manufacturer says this is a throwing axe or a dedicated work axe that's a tank, it better hold up to Wes's review, because me and Dave are going to beat the hell out of it, and at the end, you're going to walk away going, Wes reviewed that the best of his ability, and I feel confident in that this axe is as good as he says it is. Now, I will say, guys, you have to remember that these are manufactured axes. Just like the Granswurstbruch axe, I told you guys that the heads hardly ever come loose, but the hunter's axe did, and I told you guys that. Sometimes we get samples of one, especially on some of my reviews, guys. I get a sample of one, and if it holds up great and it does well, I'm going to tell you it does well, but that doesn't mean it's always going to do that. That's with anything you buy in this world, you know. This could work out for me and it may not work out for you. That's why you go on reviews and you look at them and you'll have all these reviews saying it's great, and then you'll have 7 or 8 saying it's crap. I'm going to beat the hell out of it, and I'm going to tell you something. Like the Kings County Tool Tomahawk hatchet, I'm still throwing that thing to this day. It's a $30-some hatchet, Tomahawk. It holds up really well, and I've gotten a lot of feedback on that thing saying that people have bought it and it worked out really well for them as well. So keep that in mind. Not only am I doing this for myself to find out who makes the best axes or throwing axes, but I'm also doing it for you too. And I'm going to give you guys an awesome review where I take these things out, beat the hell out of them, and at the end, you're going to know if it's worth the damn or not. And that's just how it is here. So in this process of doing all these axe reviews and being on social media, I've accumulated way too many axes and I'm running out of room. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start going through my collection of axes and giving them away as free giveaways, because I don't have room for all of them. And some of these guys, they weren't my favorite axes, but that doesn't mean someone out there may not love them. I'm not just giving away axes that I don't like. As you guys know, I've given away axes that I love. So just know that some of these axe reviews and some of these giveaways that I do are because I love the axe and I want you to have them. But going forward, there's going to be a lot of axes that I don't really care for, just in my personal opinion, but it doesn't mean you won't love them. The Axethrowing Sportsman's Hatchet. I think somebody out there would love this thing. I don't care for it. Me and Dave don't care for it, but somebody out there may take it and use it for what it's designed for. Maybe you'll use it for axe throwing. I don't know, but here we go. Free giveaway. If you want to win the Axethrowing Sportsman's Hatchet, go into the comment section. You must be subscribed to me. 1 comment per person and write axe. I'll let it run for 2 weeks, and at the end of the 2 weeks, I'll come on here, we'll spin the wheel, and we'll see who wins it. I just want you guys to know that I'm sure someone out there will love this thing. It just wasn't my axe. I don't think it's a bad axe. I just don't like it. I just personally don't care for it. I do like the regular Axethrowing with a rubber grip. I made a video on it. It was one of my very first videos I made on social media. I took the rubber grip off, put my own grip on it. That thing flew awesome. It's a good little axe. Just one just didn't make the cut for me, but it doesn't mean it won't be great for you. So there we go. Free giveaway if you want to win it. Do what I just told you to do, and you can win it. We'll let it run for 2 weeks. Thanks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you stayed here long enough to finish this video. I know this is a long one, but we had a lot of information to get into. I find random things sometimes, put it together, we'll slap it and make a video like this, talking about cool stuff. And I like to give you guys information, stuff that you can take with you after the video's over, and maybe you'll apply it to your axe throwing game, or you'll make a better decision when it comes to buying your next axe. That's what this video is about, and this channel's about. So I want you guys to take what I say with a grain of salt, or take it as gospel. Whatever you want to do with it, do with what you wish. But I'm telling you guys, I know what I'm talking about. I've been throwing axes for a long time, and I've got a ton of time behind axes and throwing. I do. So if you're into axe throwing and you're into axes, at least consider subscribing to this channel, and we'll have a good time like we always do, like me and Dave do.
We may occasionally drink from time to time when axe
That's
throwing.
right, Dave. You tell them. You tell them how it is. But I appreciate all the support you guys give. We're almost up to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't know what's going on with YouTube lately. They changed the algorithm so much I can't keep up with it. I will say that doing shorts and doing long form content is weird. As you guys know, when I first started on YouTube, I was doing nothing but shorts. And I was getting tons of views on shorts and getting lots of people subscribing. But that wasn't what I was about. I wanted to do long form content, so I switched over to doing mostly long form content. And my videos were doing crap. And then when I switch over to do shorts, I get a lot of views. And then I go back to long form content, I get no views on it. Now it's done flopped. Now I'm getting really good views on my long form content. And every time I post a short, it does nothing. It's almost like YouTube wants to put you in either a short category or a long form content category. Unless you've got millions of followers, you can do both. But when you're small like me, you got to choose between the two. And I will choose long form content, and I'll put my short type videos on TikTok and sometimes on YouTube. But it's just weird how that game works on here. I don't know what's going on. So if you know anybody that's into axe throwing, or you know anybody that's into axes that might get some information or at least some good reviews out of my channel, tell them to come over and subscribe and join the channel, win some axes, have a good time, talk to Dave. He enjoys talking to you guys, and we'll just talk axes all day long on this channel. We always do. With all that said, guys, we're out of here. I really do appreciate everything everybody does to make this channel what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the new intros to the videos. I thought they were really cool. I got some great ideas for the future videos. Cool little storytelling at the beginning. I think it's pretty cool. I have a fun time doing it. So until next time, see you guys.
Oh, since I am here by myself, I would like to issue an apology to Freya. It was not me who used the hunter's axe on your cats. It was Loki. That shape-shifting scoundrel will pay.